Hi guys! Welcome back to my channel. In this video, we will continue the light novel of That Time I Got Reincarnated as a Slime, Volume 13, Chapter 1, Shake and Consciousness, Part 2. If you haven't watched previous video or chapter, you can find the link in the description below. This video contains spoiler ahead anime and manga series. Also, please don't forget to like and subscribe my channel, and click on the bell, so you won't miss my latest video. Without further ado, let's get started. And there are absolutely no casual drafters among them, all of them are professional soldiers. Yes. They are well trained and considered the quality of their weapons and defenses, coupled with their tactics, each of which seemed to surpass the order of the Western powers. Even with Benimaru and his Black Flame Jail, it might still be difficult to penetrate those guys' magic defense. According to Sui, the enemy army unleashed legion magic from time to time. The level of the standard can only be described as very high. The combined combat power of each team is equivalent to rank A. The hobgoblins were the same way. Tacit troops are tricky. It's not just adding up everyone's strength, sometimes it even has a multiplier effect. If every 20 was equivalent to an A grade, that's 35,000 A grade opponents to deal with simply by calculation. Seriously, that is not to be underestimated. They are very dangerous opponents. But it should be fine. That's the reason for using the maze. Kufufufo. Just let them spread out within the maze and easily break through before the enemy could fully muster their strength. Everything is as Lord Rimuru has predicted, that's how it is. Actually, it's not. But in the end, it was the right choice to launch an attack inside the labyrinth, but depending on the enemy's strength. Wait. Thinking about this side of the story made me realize something. No matter how strong the opponent comes at us, this meet and greet battle will come in handy. By coming to the maze, we are able to spread the others' war power and keep our own war power concentrated. So the truth of the matter is that if they really want to go through the maze, they can only rely on a few elite challengers. I thought this to myself, not to be outdone by Master Raphael, the King of Wisdom. I'm glad to see them on our side. I couldn't help but murmur, and Benimaru was quite sympathetic. It will prevent the town from suffering, and will also make it easier for the war to move in our favor. Standing in the position of commanding an army, I don't want to be an enemy of her. It's only because Ramiris isn't here now that I can compliment her from the bottom of my heart. If it was a compliment to her face, she'd get carried away for a while and show it off, which would be annoying. These things aside for now, we shouldn't have any problems on our side, but we don't know what's going on with Gobta and the others. There were several big screens in the control room, and my magic was shining through them. And of course, there was a broadcast of the scene near the Dwarven kingdom above. There were 2,000 magic tanks lined up neatly. The layout here was no exception, which translated into a distance of about 30 kilometers from the central metropolis of Dwarven, St. Doran. This unbiased location is what we had anticipated. What matters is the performance of the magic tank. Its muzzle is facing the front door, which I had visited several times. The Imperial-developed magic-guided tank seems to be a step up in performance compared to the magic tanks I know of. Maybe the range of the magic tank is better than my native world military tank. At such a distance, there should be no way for the shells to hit. In the square just inside that gate there were people like Gobta and Gabble standing by. Gobta and Gabble led their respective legions in their mission. The occasional battle with the enemy was not frequent, and the people who stayed in the hotel town took refuge. We also went as planned and sent reinforcements to rendezvous with the Dwarven kingdom. The two army chiefs, Gobta and Gabble, have entered the Dwarven kingdom. Either way, it's a matter of fighting with each other, and the other side is not taking away our command. Gazel had already promised this, so I wasn't worried, and it looked like the military units of the Dwarven kingdom had indeed kept their word. That should make it all right, although there is still some unease about us joining forces with the Dwarven army. But as long as we let Tempest attack and ask the Dwarven army to take over the defensive duties thoroughly, there should be no problem. Confusion in the chain of command is a problem in military operations. In order for legions of different nationalities to join forces to fight, as they did this time, it must first be decided which side of the order will take precedence. If it was Benimaru, he could interfere forcibly by using his unique skill, Generalissimo. Even if he was in a difficult position to distinguish between the enemy and himself on the battlefield, as long as he had this skill, everyone else would not have to worry about their own people fighting amongst themselves. Adding in the Dwarven Legion in this case, there was the potential for chaos. That's why we came to the conclusion that it was more efficient to share the responsibility for offense and defense. Just to be on the safe side, maybe it's better to talk to Gazel again. That's true. Now that the Empire has been laid out, it won't be long before the war begins. It's almost time for us to get on the battlefield, so we'd better get in touch with King Gazel and make a final confirmation. It looks like Benimaru agreed with me. With that in mind, I hurriedly reached for the newly set contact device. The so-called contact device was a magical communication machine successfully developed by Vesta. The great thing was that not only audio information, but also visual information could be transmitted. The contact device had the shape of a computer. It looked like a screen plus a mouse and a keyboard. And it wasn't a mouse, it was actually a palm-sized crystal ball that could be activated by touching it. Then, you could specify your options with the engravings on the keyboard to contact someone. The construction was simple and everyone could use it. But there were also inconveniences. I just said that it was visual information, but it was actually a mind power replayed in the brain. When you activated something like this by holding the contact device, what do you think will be conveyed to the other person? The principle is the same as that of communication network. I'm so used to it that I can remove distractions, but people who aren't used to it might shed unnecessary intelligence. If one was thinking of something evil in one's mind, they may accidentally convey it to the other side, which was one of the risks. There must be no evil intent. I can't help but think that I really don't recommend using this machine to chase girls. For the average person with no mental training, it's better to just use the talk function. In short, this component is expected to improve in the future. Hello, I'm Rimuru. Is His Majesty Gazel here? I also take it for granted in this world that I say, hello. This has become habitual and natural, so I do it up without a doubt. What's interesting is that this evolved into the new rule when using the contact device. Hello, this is for His Majesty Gazel. Could you please wait on the line for a moment? Okay. One could sense that someone on the other side of the contact device was fumbling with his hands. The other party seemed to be trained to be in charge, but fell into a panic upon hearing my name. If the head of the company we do business with called out of the blue, then perhaps even I would be alarmed. I should be more considerate of the other person. It's rude to ask Lord Rimuru to wait. Cheyenne said this statement with an exasperated look. I think that was supposed to be the secretary's job, but what Cheyenne said was to not touch the contact device. The reason couldn't be simpler, it was because she didn't know how to use it. It seems a little wrong to say she doesn't know how to use it. No matter how many times I taught her how to use it, it would cause more damage due to Cheyenne's overpowering numinous power. After that, Cheyenne used the contact device like a hot potato. She didn't even have the qualifications to complain. Personally, I don't think I need to rely on this kind of thing. I just need to meet directly through space transfer. Why don't you bring King Gazel here? Diablo was also there to make his own outrageous remarks, which were not even negotiable. The other party also had his own schedule and should make an appointment with the other party first to not be rude. This time it was me who sought out Gazel without an appointment, and it was me who was to blame. The other side just wanted me to wait for a reasonable moment. How can I get angry because of this? It's hard not to panic when Rimuru-sama is suddenly talking to them. I sympathize with the person in charge. Hearing Geld say that, I wished Cheyenne and Diablo could emulate him. Waiting less than 3 minutes, Gazel responded. I've kept you waiting. I was thinking that it was about time to contact you, too. Gazel's voice came from the microphone attached to the screen. That's all for today. Hope you enjoy the video. For the next upload, we will continue with Chapter 1, Shake and Consciousness, Part 3. See you in my next video.